Hello again, everybody. I'm back with another installment of my vinyl finds, and we're working our way through the 70s here, and here we have one from about 70, I think. This is one I was missing from Quicksilver Messenger Service. Yeah, it's got some nice flute in there, and I don't know, kind of a bongo beat, and good guitars, and yeah, very nice, psyche, breezy, summertime type album. Nice outer cover and a nice inner cover. Really cool. There's the songs on Capitol Records. And then here's a fun one I discovered almost by accident. First time I ever saw this ever in my life. Didn't even know it existed. But you all know Klaus Ogerman has had a beautiful album out in the 70s called Gate of Dreams, and a whole bunch of other really nice stuff. Well, here he kind of in a humorous way put together a fun album. Kind of a concept, you know, little thing here. Sounds for Sick People. Sounds for Sick People. Love that cover. Play with Care. Musical Doctor Will Be Better. Yeah. On Shell Records, one of the first Shell records to enter my collection. Yeah, real nice jazz here. A real nice fun jazz. Fun find there from 1960. You know, the Keith Hartley band, well, he formed Dog Soldier here in 75. Yeah, 75. I really like this album. This is kind of a has prog influences in here. About maybe 3 of the songs are very proggy. One in particular called Looks Like Rain. Yeah, this borders on prog and a kind of a blend of classic rock music here. There's Keith Hartley in the middle, other band members. Dog Soldier was the name of the band he formed after the Keith Hartley band. I really like this album. Nice find here. Songs are all long and nice instrumental, nice playing. And then the Edgar Winter Group, Shock Treatment. A year or 2 before, they had their They Only Come Out at Night. Yeah, great album with Free Ride and Frankenstein. Check those songs out. Kind of gives you an idea of what you're going to hear on this one here. There's Edgar. Here's the songs. This is a reissue on the blue Epic label. The original is orange. And then this group here was kind of an oddball find. I thought, man, you know, it's worth checking out. The name of the band is Wichita Fall, and I think, yeah, this is from 68, 1968 for this one here. The title is Life is But a Dream. And when I first heard this, the two bands that immediately came to my mind as a similar, not dead on, but I mean fairly similar comparison would be Klaatu from Canada, and then the old Beatles, the Beatles. Yeah, they kind of craft that Beatlesque type of sound here on their songs. And the songs just kind of, you know, flow nicely one to the next, to give the illusion that some of it could be on the lighter side of progressive, but for the most part it's just nice pop psych. Yeah, nice and melodic here, nothing really heavy. It's got a real nice gatefold. And it's on the Imperial label. Yeah, very nice listen. Worth checking out. See if you like it. I love Styx, first of all, and I originally found this album, but it was the non-gatefold die cut. It was just a solid sleeve with a little bit different picture behind the lettering of STYX. But I finally, after all these years, found a very clean copy where the die cut wasn't damaged. Usually, you know, it's so vulnerable as die cuts that has lettering with these, you know, very fragile pieces here. and that piece right there, and then the X here, those are usually bent or missing. This piece is sometimes missing, and usually one or both of these little pieces of the cover are missing. But yeah, finally found it. Very beautiful here. This is a great album from '73. One of Styx's, one of my favorite periods of Styx, when John Kuralewski was still in the group before Tommy Shaw joined, although I like that incarnation of the group just as well. But this is my favorite. I think they were just better musicianship here, more interesting songs, very proggy. They started out prog and then, you know, went more commercial as they went on. And I would say Pieces of Eight for Styx is my last, the last album that really, you know, I thought was the Styx as we'd come to know it, and an album that I enjoyed. Grand Illusion was their last really, you know, great album. Pieces of Eight was a little weaker. It just wasn't consistent all the way through, though it had some great songs on there. It's the one with the Moai heads of Easter Island, and then the group's heads, and then women. Yeah, but You Need Love. Great song in the day on AM radio. Love that song. Love that song. And Lady. But probably, possibly my all-time favorite Styx song from their whole career, their whole discography, is the song A Day. I used that as a song on my very first prog radio show. I produced programs for a webcast in San Diego, California. Progradio.com ran 24/7 from 1999 is when the webcast started, and it ended in 2009. So, and I produced programs on there from April of 2002 to late 09. So, but that program was called the early psychedelic atmospheres. Early psychedelic atmospheres. This album has Dennis DeYoung, James Young, John Kurlewski on guitar, ARP synthesizer, auto harp, Chuck Panozzo on bass, and his brother John Panozzo, who passed away sadly, on drums and percussion and vocals. Yeah, every song on here is great. From 72 to probably 77 was I think their best period. But I especially like their 72 to 1973 period, or 74, yeah. They had some really long epic prog songs on some of their albums, you know. Skylark, A Song for Suzanne, yeah, very beautiful song. Check that one out. They were on the Buffalo, see that Buffalo label. Wooden Nickel. Yeah, here we go. The Wooden Nickel record label. Yeah, back in the 70s, I think it was probably the early mid-70s. They weren't getting any radio play, and a DJ up in Chicago thought, man, this music is so good. I've got to, you know, give this guy some, you know, promotion, you know. And so he started playing this one, I think, a song or an album in a certain time slot when his show was going. And he would play it every single day, to where the, you know, Chicagoans, you know, got an earful, and they started calling in and requesting, like, what is that? And then the Styx's career just took off. Evie Sands. I wasn't familiar with Evie Sands, but this is a recent discovery of mine, and I really like her music. It's kind of akin to a light, breezy psych pop that you'd hear from Peggy Lipton. Peggy Lipton, yeah. But this is a great album all the way through. I mean, it's just classic to my ears. Yeah. Evie Sands, it's on Herb Alpert's A&M label there. Any Way You Want Me is the title. Crazy Annie was a big radio hit. So I found out.
No, you won't kill me. Now you won't kill me. But you wait and see how the evil can't come running the field. Wait and see. Oh no. No, you won't kill me.
And then another great sought-after classic from their early days, Stevie Nicks and, I'm drawing a blank here, Lindsey Buckingham. Lindsey Buckingham. Here they duo on a really nice, light, you know, kind of a psyche, folky, more folky album here before they had patented that Fleetwood Mac sound. Yeah, this is Buckingham Nicks on the Polydor label. Got a nice gatefold with the lyrics inside. Let's see here. Man, if I could just get this lined up, I don't have much room to hold it here. Kind of crowded here. There we go. But yeah, this is a great album. I love it. And then, you know, Tiny Tim had his debut album, God Bless Tiny Tim, from '68. He loved singing with his ukulele, and kind of a way of presenting old music, turn of the century music, in a modern way, you know, up on stage. He was on all these here variety shows back in the day and did a lot of interviews, and he was on the Johnny Carson show back in '68 in the fall when he wed Miss Vicky, his first wife, and yeah, he was very eccentric, very eccentric. His first album is just a wonderful psychedelic, magical, it's like just a walk in a fairy tale type park that he puts together, where he melds all these beautiful songs together from the past and puts a modern twist on them with backing orchestral and you know, all kind of instrumentation in there that's very fitting for each of the songs. And he does that again on this album, Tiny Tim's second album. And there he is. And there's his father and his mother. Tiny Tim's second album. Yeah. There's the songs. Come to the Ball. Yeah, I just love the way he presents his old music, all this, you know, 1890s to about 1920s, 30s, 40s is a lot of the music material he chooses to, you know, put his own touch on, his own renditions. Nice gatefold, nice photo gallery there. And it's on Frank Sinatra's Reprise label with a Steamboat and the 7, the W7. Yeah, great album. And his third album is really nice too. His first 3 are my favorites. I'm still looking for that third one. And here was a bump-up copy to Sergio Mendes in Brazil '66 with Equinox. My copy was really ring-worn, and the record was only very good plus, but now I got a really clean copy. So, glad to find this. Yeah, this is from '67, I believe, his debut. Great bossa nova, psyche, breezy, sunshiny, beach type of, you know, laid-back music. Just love it, check it out. James Taylor, singer-songwriter, folk singer of the '60s, '70s. He even starred with Dennis Wilson in the movie Two Lane Blacktop from '71. And Warren Oates was in there. Let's see, James Taylor was the one with the 55 gray primer Chevy that was all hopped up. And they meet Warren Oates in a 70 GTO, a Judge, a yellow one. And they take him on kind of a road trip, you know, to see who gets to their destination first. But yeah, fun movie, kind of similar to Vanishing Point. But here, James Taylor, his sister, Sister Kate, makes a record, and she does a great job here. Yeah, great voice, folky. Let's see, I don't know who this. There were so many people, you know, coming out around this time of the early 70s. This is from '71 with this really nice laid-back folky stuff, and this is another just fun, great listen. Yeah. I just had to pick this up. Brother and sister here. Now I got on record. Too many of these to name, but you can probably imagine what you're going to hear. She does a great job, you know, very talented, you know. And this is on the Cotillion label. Same label as Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Very nice, very nice. And here's Vikki Carr again. I think this is from about 1964, 66, somewhere in there. But yeah, she did a lot of great music back in the 60s. Heard her a lot on AM radio. And this is a record I was missing. Now my collection's getting more complete. And this isn't quite as good as her debut, but it's still a very strong record here. Really, you can't go wrong with most of her stuff from the 60s. She had that big radio hit in '67 called It Must Be Him. It Must Be Him. That was her big hit, if you want to kind of get an idea of what you're going to hear on her records here. But yeah, my folks had, you know, this type of music on their phonograph growing up as a kid, you know, so I heard this at home a lot. You know, Petula Clark, you know, Herb Alpert, you know, all the standards of the day. Yeah. Fun stuff here. Nice voice. Very perky, bubbly type of personality that comes out in her singing. And it's just fun, kind of a pick-me-up, you know. And then some are more subdued and melancholy or laid back and mellow. But yeah, just a nice variety on here. And she's on the Liberty label. There we go. Yeah, Liberty. And I will wrap this one up. 23 minutes. This is a good stopping time. So until the next time, folks, take care, everybody. Talk to you later.